Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Etcetera with the Woodards. I'm your host for the evening, Craig Woodard Sr. This is episode 21, and we are going live on Facebook right here. We are also recording for our YouTube channel, Etcetera with the Woodards. Make sure you check that out as well. Okay, hey, listen, it is July 27th. We are 22 days after the death, the shooting of my cousin, Marcello Woodard, and this story continues. We're trying to find out answers from the state, and we can't get anything. It's been 22 days, 3 weeks, and they've come out with two statements so far, and it's simply ridiculous. So let me just kind of update everyone to what is going on for those that do not know right at this particular point. On the evening of July 2nd, my cousin Marcello Woodard, we call him Cello, he pulled up in the vehicle, and two parole agents pulled up behind him. A second parole agent got out of the vehicle, and within 7 seconds, 3 shots rang out. They shot him in the chest. One of them did. They have yet to release the name of the shooter, although we do know who it was. It's just a shame that we have not heard much from the state at all, and the city of Erie is livid right now. Now, I am reporting live on Facebook and recording on Restream here from Tampa, Florida, but I grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania. I have family members there, of course. We have our Justice for Cello Coalition going on up there, and my teammates have been working really, really hard to try to get some answers for my family, to figure out what is going on. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see a bunch of people looking in. Deontay Cooley's on. He was my special guest last week and brought some really, really good insight to where we are at right now. So, as I stated, within 7 seconds from the parole agent getting out of the vehicle, 3 shots were fired. The car took off at that particular point. They do mention that in the Yahoo News post that was on July 3rd. They said that he drove the vehicle after he was shot. Okay. And the video that we have posted, you can go to my page, Craig Woodard Sr., and check out the video. I just reposted it the other day. Just watch it for yourself. Watch it a couple times. The video just really shows you what happened. It is it's a little tough to see, and ironically, Robert Richmond Jr. was going live on Facebook at the time that this happened, and Facebook has removed his video. For some reason, I have a feeling that maybe the state requested that, but his video was removed. So we have what we have, which is from a Ring doorbell video. It does show Cello pulling up. It shows the parole agents pulling behind him and immediately getting out of the car and going over to the driver's side of Cello's vehicle. Now, number one, they're not allowed to do traffic stops. So that's what this one seems like to me, is he just pulled in, they pulled in behind him, he's still in the car, and they go up to the door. That's a traffic stop. They're not allowed to do that. And I have some info here that I'm going to read that deals with job descriptions, definitions, responsibilities, use of excessive force. We're going to get into that tonight. So I hope you guys are ready to hear me read a little bit. But I'm going to try to break down some things. And there is another case that I want to compare this to, because what they're going to do is they always like to compare case law, and I'm not an attorney by all means. However, I know how the system works, and that's exactly what they're going to try to do. So, as I stated, it's 22 days past the shooting date, and they've come out with their original statement. And their statement, they're saying that one of the parole agents was being dragged by the car because he held on to the car, and so he was being dragged, and that's why he shot. All right. Let me poke some holes into this as far as their statement is concerned. So they go up to the driver's side. He's still in the vehicle. They are stating that he took off and then they shot, or he shot. So if you come up to a vehicle and someone starts to drive away, why are you going to hang on to the door? Now, this is a parole agent. This has nothing to do with the police or being pulled over, while he's driving. Like, I'm still kind of puzzled as to why he would hold on to the vehicle. Now, this is what the state is saying. Right? The video doesn't show him being dragged at all. I just want to put that out there. And you all know that out in Facebook land, that the video does not show this agent being dragged. But this is what their statement is. And the reason why this is what their statement is because they are trying to say that Cello used the vehicle as a weapon. That is what their stance is. But it's physically impossible. Was his coat caught in the door? Was his hand caught in the window and Cello pulled off and he's dragging him because his hand is in the window? None of that happened. Let go of the door. Just let go of the door. In order to avoid excessive force, let go of the door. So I just firmly believe that they came with one intention. And like I said, he was shot within 7 seconds of the second parole agent getting out of the vehicle. It's just absurd that this would happen. And by the way, on July 18th, Cello would have been off of parole. So I don't understand what the big deal is. I really don't. It just is puzzling to all of us that this has occurred, and whatever Cello did, whatever they're going to try to come up with, whatever story, he did not deserve to lose his life. Plain and simple. What type of injuries did he sustain? What they said he went to the hospital with minor injuries. I'd like to see them. I'd like to see the pictures. What injuries did he sustain? Because he must not have been hurt that bad, because they immediately got in the car and left right after Cello's car started to move forward. Why did they not administer CPR? I don't understand that. They're trained in CPR, and I'm going to get into that in a minute here. But why did they not administer CPR? So based on the statement, the vehicle traveled while Cello was dying. The Erie police, who were right down the street, got the call, and they saw the vehicle kind of just coasting towards them, and they pulled their cruiser up in front of it to stop it because they saw Cello slumped down in the vehicle. What they did is the Erie Police Department opened the door, got him out, put him in handcuffs, and then started to administer CPR to him. I don't know. It just seems so inhumane to me that this is what happened. Let me get into some of the information I'm going to read for you guys. I pulled up this is all public information as well. The job codes for a parole officer in the state of Pennsylvania. Definition: this is a professional work in the supervision of probationaries and parolees in the state probation and parole system, or professional parole counseling of inmates, offenders, preparing for release from a correctional institution. An employee in this job is responsible for the supervision or counseling of offenders to foster personal, social, and economic adjustments into the community. They're supposed to help these parolees. There is an element of physical danger in working with offenders who have demonstrated antisocial behavior and may be experiencing mental or chemical dependency problems. An employee in this job has arrest powers. Work is performed in accordance with agency procedures and state laws and is reviewed through observation, conference, and review of reports and recommendations. I read through this whole entire thing and I didn't see anything where they can pull someone over. Didn't see anything like that, right? It's disgusting. I'm going to read on. This is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Board of Probation and Parole Duties, Training, and Arrest Powers of State and County Probation and Parole Officers by Robert J. Prial, P-R-Y-A-L. Arrest Powers. All state and county probation and parole officers are given the status of peace officers under Commonwealth of Pennsylvania statutes. The peace officer, police power provided to state agents and county probation officers is limited to the persons under the supervision of the respective state and county jurisdictions. These two acts do not confer general police powers upon these officers, but limits these powers as described in legislation. Field supervision staff at the FBPP routinely arrest parolees and probationaries in the course of their duties. Reading on here, duties of state parole agents and county probation officers. The day-to-day duties of state parole agents and county probation officers are similar. Therefore, the duties herein described apply to both state and county officers. Agents help offenders reach an improved understanding of themselves and their life situations. Problems such as drug use, employment, etc. are addressed to assist the offender to successfully reintegrate to the community. And as I stated, July 18th, Cello would have reintegrated to the community, but it was stolen from him on July 2nd. Agents participate in court proceedings, providing testimony on offender adjustments, information concerning agency policy and procedures to assist the court in making proper disposition of technical violations of probation or parole. Court cases may result in revocation of probation, parole, or the imposition of special conditions of probation/parole. Listen, if he did something wrong and you found out that he did something wrong on July 2nd and he was set to get off of parole on July 18th, then why don't you just make an arrest? Come back the following day, arrest him, charge him, put him back in jail, you know? And I'm saying that, not saying that he did anything wrong. I'm saying that because that's another option. He did not deserve to die that night. Plain and simple, okay? Just reading on to a couple other things. Training. We all have questioned the training that either he had or did not have. For state parole agents, their attendance at Basic Skills Academy is followed by a 5-day firearms qualification course. Concurrent with the Basic Skills Academy and firearms, 6-month on-the-job training program is administered by their immediate supervisor. All state parole agents must take and complete the use of force curriculum. It is mandatory for all state parole agents to attend and complete a 5-day initial firearms course. At this point in time, it is optional for parole agents to choose to carry a board issued firearm. Those agents choosing to carry a firearm must successfully complete all use of force training and the initial firearms course. Now, I checked another site, and there's 58 out of 67 counties in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that are authorized to carry firearms. Erie is one of them. They are one of the 58 counties that they do authorize them to carry them. And Cello, based off of the state's statement, was shot by a state-issued firearm as well. Okay, Reading a couple other things here. Pennsylvania state parole officers, like other enforcement personnel, are generally required to administer first aid, which would include CPR in situations where an offender has been injured, especially after the use of force. So you open fire, 3 shots, and then you get back in your vehicle and you do not administer CPR. There was excessive use of force done here. This man was shot in the chest. It was ruled a homicide. They've already said the cause of death was shot to the chest. And they do not administer CPR. Okay, so that's 2 things. They're not permitted to do a traffic stop, and they are supposed to administer CPR. I just don't understand this. By the way, there was no gun found in the vehicle at all. So it's a key point to know that Cello was unarmed. And the reason why they're trying to stick to their statement as far as the parole agent being drugged is because they're trying to depict the vehicle as a weapon because he was unarmed. Okay, so that's very, very important. Let me read something else here. Let's see. Parole agents in Pennsylvania, like other law enforcement officers, are generally expected to render first aid, including CPR, to individuals injured during incidents where they use force. Specifically, the Pennsylvania Bulletin states that an officer who uses force on an offender and injuries result, the officer shall contact the Carbon County Communications Center for assistance for medical personnel and law enforcement personnel, contact the chief adult probation / parole officer or immediate supervisor, render first aid to the injured subject, which they did not do. The Erie Police Department did. This emphasizes their responsibility to provide immediate medical assistance. And immediate medical assistance was not done by the parole officers. Okay, it was done by the Erie Police. Now, I want to paint a picture for you guys, right? And I know you all are thinking the same thing that I'm thinking right now. I see a couple comments on this. Picture this: you're in the driver's side. You're in the driver's seat. Here's the window. You have an officer hanging on the window. When you start to drive off, this is basically their statement, not what happened, right? But let's just play this game for a minute. Okay, you start to drive off and they're hanging on the window. They're on my left side. I'm facing forward because I'm driving. They're on my left side. How in the hell am I going to get shot in my chest when they're to my left? How am I going to get shot in my chest when they're to the left of me? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. You cannot see a parole agent being dragged in the video. This is what they are delaying for because they're trying to get their story straight because they know that there's an issue. How did this man get shot in the chest? The angle doesn't even support it right. It just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, are you thinking about that? Can you visualize that, right? I'm the driver. I'm driving. All right, I pull off, and I have an agent to my left hanging on the window. How is he able to shoot me in my chest from over here? Let that sink in for a minute. Michael, you're right. They have no case. They have no case. And the reason why people in the city of Erie are upset is because they have not made an arrest yet. Now, you and I know that if that was a black parole agent and that was a white person that was the parolee. Yeah, that agent would have been arrested that night. And you know what? That is what should have happened. Why is it not happening in this case? That's the problem. That is the problem, right? I want to bring a little case law into this. The situations are almost similar, just a little different, just slightly different, but the concept is the same. I dug in and found this. So if you guys want to look this up, feel free. Let me just read a comment. Deontay said, if we have common knowledge of this concept, why isn't the DA thinking like this? Exactly. And the reason why the DA is, well, you know what, Deontay, the DA probably is thinking like this. And that's why they have not made an arrest yet, because it's one of their guys. They're on the same team. It doesn't matter that the DA is supposed to be the attorney for the people. The prosecution is supposed to be the attorney for the people. The shooter is the defendant, right? Am I missing something here? Like, our attorney's delaying this thing, and we want some answers. I don't understand this. I don't understand this, but I did some digging. I found another case. This was from January 3rd, this incident, January 3rd of 2021. This is Tim Thomas versus the state of Indiana, okay? And remember this, you guys can look this up and you can take a look at it. There's actually a video on it as well. Tim Thomas versus the state of Indiana. Let me explain this story. So Tim Thomas was ex-military. He was a police officer in the city of Lowell, L-O-W-E-L-L, Lowell, Indiana. He was off duty, and a friend of his, a female friend, called him and asked him to come to a party, just a little set at her friend's house. And so he was like, yeah. So he got in the car, drove down, and went to the house. Went downstairs. They had a bar downstairs, or a couple of bar stools. And so he's sitting downstairs. He's sitting next to her, and the bartender is the owner of the house, and his wife was there sitting next to Tim's partner, Angela. So the homeowner was ex-military. He was in the Marines, and he started to ask Tim some questions about, if he, served. And yeah, I was in the Army, and then he asked him, how many kills did you have? And Tim said, I don't like to talk about that. And that apparently irritated the homeowner. His name was Nick, I believe. And so he stopped talking to Tim for quite some time, and Tim could kind of tell that he was irritated. So he said to Angela, the girl that invited him there, you know what, I think I'm just going to go. Are you okay? And right at that point, Nick, the homeowner, just attacked Tim, and he starts punching him, and he's got him on the ground. He's Tim's on his back. He's choking him, and he's saying, I'm going to kill you, and all kind of stuff. And so Tim is at fear for his life. Now, Tim is the off-duty cop, right? So he finally breaks free from this guy. He pulls out his weapon. He had a gun on him, was concealed. And he pulls his weapon out, and he introduced himself. And he said, listen, I am a cop. Do not touch me again. Do not touch me again. And what happened was Nick just rushed at him. When he rushed at him, the cop shot him. He shot him, and ultimately the result was he ended up dying. All right. Tim went upstairs. He gets his cell phone out of his pocket. He calls 911. He tells them that there was a shooting. They are a few minutes away. They get there. So they send the EMT, and they also send the police. The police get there. They get his statement. And after they get his statement, they put him under arrest. And they charge him with involuntary manslaughter on the scene because Nick did not have a weapon. Okay? Sound familiar? So, this is the state of Indiana, and one of their guys, one of their cops, shot and killed this guy in his own home that was unarmed, and they made the arrest on the scene and charged him with involuntary manslaughter. So, he goes, has his preliminary hearing, has his bail hearing. He's able to post bail, and he's out. So what ended up happening after that is the trial ensued. And not to give away the story, but I'm going to give away the story because it makes all the sense in the world. Ultimately, this off-duty police officer who was originally charged with voluntary manslaughter, there were other charges that were filed as well. He was found guilty by a jury of his peers of aggravated battery. He was given 16 years in prison. He appealed it, and it was upheld in the appellate court. So, 16 years for aggravated battery, and these police officers arrested their own on the scene. Because the other guy did not have a weapon. And so we expect the same treatment in Erie, Pennsylvania. And it's not happening right now. And this is why everybody is upset. And this is why they had a protest in front of the state police barracks today in Lawrence Park. This is why they've been everywhere in the city. And we want justice for Cello, is because we want an indictment, an arrest, and a conviction. That's what we want, and we're not getting it. And they're taking too long. It's been 22 days for them to try to figure this out. Now, the state of Indiana, they got this thing right. Okay, could he have done anything else possible opposed to just going to excessive force? And he had marks on his neck. He had bruises on his face that even proved that there was a fight. So, yes, it was supposed to be self-defense. But did he have any other option outside of shooting to kill? And he did. And the jury thought that he did. And that's why they found him guilty. Now, I ask you, did the shooter in Cello's case, did he have any other option but to shoot and kill him? Did he have any other option but to shoot and kill him? First option, let go of the damn door. How about that? Let go of the damn door. That's number one. Make an arrest tomorrow on July 3rd. If you think that you have enough evidence on him to arrest him when he's alive the next day. You know, it just doesn't make any sense because the video does not prove what their statement is. It just doesn't. And then they take in his fiance that night. They take her down to the Erie Police Department, and then they take her over to the state police barracks and detain her and put her in a cell. And they probably pressured her, and she was under duress, and she was in shock. She just lost her fiance, and they're pressuring her, and she probably just wanted to go home, you know. And so they put this statement together that she said that the officer was being drugged, but then she said, no, that's not what I said. That did not happen, and we know that that's not what happened because we have the video. Okay, so can you imagine the pressure that they put on her all night? And then they got a search warrant for her property, looking for a Gucci bag and a Ross bag. And then they came back with their findings saying that there was white powder found on the bag, and there was white powder found in Cello's car. White powder? Okay, y'all know just like I know, these police officers have that kit on them. And if there's drugs on the scene, all they got to do is take the little liquid and put it right on it. And if it turns a certain color, they know what it is. Why are you saying it's white powder? Tell us what it is. Or is that part of your fabrication as well? I don't understand that, you know. And they did not read her Miranda rights, and she was not in the presence of an attorney. There's a lot of different things that went on with this that is just, it's BS in my view. It really is. So if you ask me, did the state of Indiana do the right thing by arresting and charging Tim Thomas on the scene, even though he was defending himself? I think they did the right thing. And then they continued to figure it out, and they presented all the evidence at trial, and the jury found him guilty because they said, you know what? I don't think that he needed to use excessive force in order to free himself. There were other options. There were other options. A jury of his peers found him guilty. And this is a cop, right? So that means that the DA's office, they did exactly what it was that they were supposed to do. And they made that decision very thriftily. We're on day 22. Day 22 with 2 bogus statements. And we need somebody to step up and make a decision because there's a killer on the streets of Erie, Pennsylvania, walking around like nothing's wrong. And that's a problem. That's a problem for you all. I'm here in Tampa, and I'm fearful for a lot of my family members, friends, and you all. There's a killer on the loose in Erie, Pennsylvania, that they know who he is. But because he's on the same team and wears the same jersey as them, they're letting him stay at home while they try to delay and figure this thing out. I don't know how that sits with you, but that does not sit with me very well. It does not. It does not. We have a lot of views on this video. I know it's really tough to see, and I know that the main video was removed from Facebook, but I would assume that Facebook would be able to retrieve that video if the family's attorney subpoenaed that video for court. It's supposed to be a clearer video than what we actually have. But the video that we do have, you can see exactly what happened. As soon as that second parole agent got out of the vehicle, within 7 seconds, gunshots happened. Gunshots happened. And it's such a shame. We're going to continue to fight for justice for Cello. I want to say, I said day 22. Day 25. It's the 27th. 25 days. Yes, thank you for that. Not 22 days, 25 days. It's been 25 days, over 3 weeks, and we're still waiting for answers. We did have Mayor Schember and the City Council sent out a letter to Governor Shapiro demanding that we have some answers soon, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And, you know, the Justice for Cello Coalition is going to continue to put pressure on the city, on the state, on the governor, on everyone and anyone that can help us get some answers to what exactly happened and to make something happen. The state of Indiana did it right. They don't play around. They filed charges right on the spot, right on the scene, arrested that cop, charged him for involuntary manslaughter. He was ultimately convicted of aggravated battery and got 16 years in prison. He appealed it, and the appellate court upheld the decision. And so he will be serving at least 12 years in prison for shooting an unarmed man. Okay? A little bit different twist to the story, but what I wanted to look for is how did another state handle their situation when they had one of their teammates being the shooter, and that's what I found. So it's keep praying for the family, keep praying for the Woodard family, keep supporting, keep sharing the banner that we have posted, keep sharing the video. We still need this story to go nationwide. It has not yet, but we have to stay vigilant at this and continue. At these protests, please be peaceful, be kind, be considerate, be professional. This is not the time for us to show our teeth, so to speak. We appreciate everyone, all the support. Out in Lawrence Park today, it was a diverse crowd. I was told that a lot of the supporters and the drivers that were driving by were beeping. They were all different races. This is not a black and white thing. This is a justice thing. And everyone is pushing for justice for Cello. Every single person. Because it's got to stop. When will it stop? We want it to stop now so another family does not have to suffer and go through what we are going through right now. Okay? So keep supporting Justice for Cello. Do everything in your power to be present. I wish I was there in Erie to put my boots on the ground as well. But I appreciate everyone doing what they're doing. So I'm doing what I can do, which is spreading the word on my podcast vocally. And I have been on Erie News Now a couple of times, giving my opinion and staying close to the media as well. All right. So thank you all for listening tonight. Keep passing the word. I appreciate you guys. Keep supporting. Next week we'll have another update. Please tune in. You can go to my YouTube channel, Etcetera with the Woodards. I have a number of different videos the last 4 weeks that we're talking about cello and justice for cello. Please check them out, share them, subscribe, like, and keep following me. I'm going to keep doing my thing down here, and I appreciate you guys. And Deontay, I appreciate you for saying that as well. We're going to continue to use this platform to get our word out until we get justice for cello. Okay, reporting live here in Tampa Bay. My name is Craig Woodard. I'll see you guys next week.